So can you guys hear me okay? Is the audio coming across? Good, good. I look sideways. Yes, yes. It should be horizontal now. Landscape mode. All right, I'm gonna just switch this to presentation mode. All right, so here we go. All right, guys, welcome. Did you guys enjoy today's Fat Loss Summit interviews? We had Dr. Alan Christensen, we had Dr. Isabella Wentz, we had Dr. Sarah Gottfried. What'd you guys think? For those of you who attended today's sessions, did you guys enjoy it? What's going on, handsome Miss Manny? Yes, awesome, great. Can't get Dr. W to load. Try again in a few hours. We realized that the videos were a little bit too large in terms of file size. So our team right now is they're compressing all the files to a lot smaller version, so they should load a lot quicker in about the next 1 to 2 hours. So I apologize for that. And if you had any issues with the streaming of the video, then we think we figured out the reason. So that shouldn't happen moving forward. But please check your internet connection. If you're on dial-up or somewhere in the middle of nowhere, it's going to be tough to get a connection. So hopefully as of tonight and moving forward for the rest of the week, all the presentations should be seamless. So I wish I could show you behind me, because right here is the beach, right there, and beautiful palm trees, but it's pitch black, and it's only, well, whatever time it is, 7 o'clock. So yeah, it's the catch-22 of being in the south, like around the equator, is that it's warm, beautiful sun, but it gets really dark really soon, like around 6 o'clock, it's pitch black. So anyways, do you have any questions from, yes, you can probably hear the ocean, it's right there. Do you guys also hear those little tree frogs? Those little wee, 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 wee. So those are tree frogs, and that's like, and like it's a really, really common sound. Every single night in Barbados, you hear those. It's pretty cool. Pretty trippy at first, but if you've been here a few times, it's just, it's pretty common. Okay, so do you guys have any questions from today's Hangouts, today's sessions with Dr. Allen was talking about your body's master fat loss switch? The program you gave away to a winner, yes, what about that? Envious. Okay, well the good news is that we decided to do it again this week. So just in case you guys don't know, on the presentation pages, on the bottom right side of the screen, there's a little image that says, win my fat burning bundle worth $1,017. Click on that, and we're running another contest this week. And what we're basically giving you guys the opportunity to do is we're going to be announcing 5 more winners, probably this Sunday at the end of all the presentations. And again, same giveaway. So 5 winners. We'll be giving away the Fat Burning Bundle, which contains my Energy Greens, our pure plant protein, a 1-year scholarship to Super Nutrition Academy, and a 1-year scholarship to Fitter You Fitness. So we'll be giving those away on Sunday. Again, it's completely free to join our contest, and you can do so by clicking on the button at the bottom right side of the screen on the presentation pages. So we knew that there was a lot of people who wanted to win that bundle, and obviously we can't give it to everybody. So we're like, let's do it again this week. Is that application to the UK also? Yes. Doesn't matter if you live in the middle of the desert in Dakar. We will ship you all those goodies, okay? So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so today, I'm trying to think of some questions because right now I'm just, obviously this is recording on my screen on my computer. So I'll just show you this. So there I am. So it's kind of tough for me to search online while I'm doing this. So what we'll do is I'm trying to think of any questions that came up in the comments. So one of the big questions was with respect to blood sugar. So we talked about blood sugar with Sarah Gottfried, and she was mentioning how insulin is really, in her experience, and Sarah Gottfried is a Harvard medical trained doctor, worked as a gynecologist and still does, and she's one of the smartest people that I know. I remember when I did an interview with her last year, we were talking about energy, and she had a specific statistic. She's like, 91% of my patients come in looking for more energy. And she had all this documented, and she's just that type of person where she documents everything. Everything is scientifically verified. And we're talking about insulin as being, in her experience, the biggest stumbling block in a lot of people's path to losing weight. And she recommended a really simple, really simple strategy that I think is really applicable to pretty much anybody, is to monitor your glucose. And not like a fanatic every single second of the day, but even just on just in a fasted state first thing in the morning. She recommended grabbing a glucose or a glucometer or a glucose meter that's going to measure your blood sugar. You can buy them on Amazon for about $20. And essentially what it's going to do is give you a little finger prick, and it's going to measure your blood glucose in a fasted state. And she recommended, I think it was between, I can't even remember the number now. It was like 55 and 70 milligrams per deciliter. I believe that was correct in terms of like your fasting blood sugar. So that's what she recommended. And the interesting thing that she said was that most doctors, they're using a reference range that is a lot higher, which basically means that according to the medical doctor, if you're at 95 or 100 milligrams per deciliter, from a blood sugar perspective, you're okay. But what Sarah is saying is that based on a lot of the recent research, it has to be a lot lower. So that's really interesting for you guys to think about. And if you're borderline type 2 diabetic, and you think, if you're dealing with sugar cravings and all that kind of stuff, it might be well advised just to get a sense of where you're at already. It's not something you have to do every single day, but even like doing it one time, just to get a sense of where you're at right now as a baseline. Because sometimes we think we're healthy, but then we take a simple blood sugar test like this, and we're like, whoa, what happened here? So it gives you, again, that awareness, that level of awareness, which is so critical to making positive change. So while we're talking here, I'm going to see if I can find a little gecko, because I actually found a gecko earlier, and I'm going to see if I can track this little guy down. Just give you guys a little shot of what's happening in kids and Amy sitting on the couch, just chilling out. There's Amy. That's Oscar. That's Luca. So yeah. All right, let's go on a gecko search. Let me see anything. Geckos. Da-na-na-na. Can't find anything. Anyways, so that was one of the cool things I found from today's hangout, was that insight from Sarah. The other thing with, oh, it's not a gecko. Val, awesome. Glad you loved the first day of the summit. Yes, they're pretty cute, but here's just a little friendly parental advisory note. So Amy and I decided to bring two of our boys. Our youngest one, Arlo, is at home with my mom, because we're like, there's no way we're bringing three of them on this vacation, just the two of us. It'd be crazy. So we're like, yeah, the two of them, the two oldest ones, they're almost 5, and Luca's 3 now. So I'm going to just flip this around so you can see. So we have a condo down here, and I don't know if you can see that. So there's the beach. You can see the waves kind of crashing in there. And there's the pool. And yeah, that's where we're at. Yeah, so don't get me wrong, I love my kids, they're amazing, but sometimes it's just craziness. So okay, so the other thing I want to talk about today is, again, unless you guys have any questions, it is amazing down here. If you've never been to Barbados, it's a tremendous island. I like it in small doses. The people are really friendly. There's certain parts of the island that are very, very expensive. And I'm talking about some of the most expensive real estate in the world. Tiger Woods got married down here at a resort called Sandy Lane. And yeah, it's pitch black. It's like ridiculously black down here in terms of the sky. Like it's amazing how dark it gets. So it's interesting. You have a lot of wealth on the West Coast. There's a lot of British money, old British money that's down here, and beautiful golf courses. Rihanna is from here as well, and a lot of very kind of high-profile celebrities have houses down here. So you have a lot of that, which is very kind of gated community areas. some really good restaurants. The beaches are amazing. And what we love about, so we're kind of staying in this area called the St. Lawrence Gap, which is on the southwest side of the island. And it's nice because, as you can hear, there are waves, but it's not crazy. So we can get our kids in there. They have fun. We spent 3 hours in the water today. Oscar actually got a little bit of a sunburn, which I'm kind of feel bad about because we had sunscreen on, and obviously he's got pretty fair skin, so it still got him. But it was great. Like, the waves are beautiful. The water is so warm, and it's just tremendous. But if you go up on the west coast of Barbados, and Barbados is tiny, you can drive the whole island in 4 hours. It's amazing. If you're on the west coast of Barbados, it's dead calm because the wind is coming from the east. Down here at this latitude, they're called westerlies. So the wind is coming from the east, heading west. So the west side of the island is completely sheltered from wind, and it's like the water is dead calm. It's like there's nothing. So if that's your thing, that's cool, and there's like no wind, no breeze, nothing. Down here, we still get a bit more of the wind from the east side, so the palm trees are swaying, you hear more of the wind, and you get a bit more wave action. On the east coast, right now, there's actually a surfing competition, because that's where they get some serious waves, and it's a lot more of a rough ocean, which is directly on the Atlantic side, coming right in. So it's pretty cool. Is Val my doppelganger? Maybe, I don't know. She might be. So yeah. Anyways, back to the summit. So today we had they're all great friends of mine, like Isabella Wentz, such a sweetheart, Sarah Godfrey, amazing. Dr. Alan Christensen, as I mentioned in the interviews, I think he's potentially the world's most interesting man. The commercial, the Dos Equis commercial? It's pretty much what I feel like. Alan is a great friend. He's one of the smartest guys I know. And he's one of the most interesting. He rides a unicycle, or he can ride a unicycle. He's a pilot. He rock climbs. He's a very good dresser, very well cultured. He's done all sorts of amazing things in his life, and it's just like every single time we speak, it's just like I'm learning new things from him. It's amazing. Awesome. Hi from New York. Love the first day of the summit. That's great. Thanks, guys. The feedback has been tremendous. So there's only more amazing stuff coming your way. And remember, if you missed any of the talks or any of the presentations, or if you want lifetime access to them, you can buy the whole package at a really amazing discounted price this week. And obviously, you can get the link for that in the summit. So it's fatlossummit.com/order if you want to get that at any point this week, and you'll get a nice discount. Is he single? No, he's got a beautiful wife. His wife is smoking hot. That was the one that's the thing that just kind of put me over the edge. I was like, dude, serious? So she's like a former Miss America or something. It's Kieran, really nice lady as well. So I don't know if I shouldn't have said that. I don't know if he's watching this. Well, thank you very much, Val. I appreciate it. You know what's funny, Val? Because I actually had a weird epiphany today that I was thinking on, like, who's going to join me on Periscope tonight. And I had this weird thought where I was like, I ran into you on the street, and I was like, I just felt like you were just like a friend, and we kind of like embraced each other in a big hug. It was pretty cool. So great to have you here. Yes, I won't let Amy hear me. She's inside. I think it's pretty soundproof. Amy's amazing as well. She's obviously the most beautiful person in my life. Okay, so now let me actually get to what I was going to say with Dr. Alan Christensen. So he talked about this master fat loss switch, which is cortisol. Cortisol in your adrenal glands. Something to talk about in my upcoming about the all-day fat-burning diet. If cortisol in your adrenal glands, remember, if your body is constantly stressed out, it's in a state where it's thinking that it's under threat. And I talked about this in a Periscope session the other day, where if that is the main message that your brain is receiving, then what ends up happening, right? Your reptilian brain kicks in, and your body basically goes into survival mode. And what that means is that it shuts everything down, and it's going to conserve fat. And it can't release that fat until your body realizes that it's safe, that it's okay. And so that's why it's really important to, manage your stress properly, mitigate cortisol levels. Cortisol is neither good or bad, right? Too little and too much becomes the problem. So in this case, we're talking about too much cortisol being a kind of precursor to excess fat storage, and specifically around the belly. And too little cortisol would be an indication of adrenal fatigue over time, where you're chronically stressed out and then boom, your adrenal. Yeah, so it's really important to really kind of control cortisol, understand that it's a really important switch, literally a flick switch, like with your lights, where if you have too much of it, you're going to have a very tough time losing weight, because it's telling your body you are in a state of stress to lose it. So I thought that was a really important thing that, we talked about with Alan as well. And yeah, so out of, for you guys, which was your favorite presentation from today? Just out of curiosity. So we had Dr. Alan Christensen, Isabella Wentz, and Sarah Godfrey. Which was your favorite? Which one resonated most with you, and why? Just let me know in the comments. And thank you for all the hearts, guys. Really appreciate it. Oh, you know what? I actually have to double check who got speaking. Give me a second. I'm going to just check on our on Amy's phone here. That's funny. I just typed in fartlostsummit.com. I don't think that's a good URL. That would be pretty funny. Checking the webpage just to make sure. I believe tomorrow we're talking about gut health. So yeah, tomorrow we've got a great lineup. So 4 presentations tomorrow. 4. Dr. Peter Osborne's talking about the fat loss and inflammation connection. Recchio, awesome interview. The 5-step gut healing plan to go from sugar burner to fat burner. It's a really, really good interview. Chris is such a sweetheart. And Dr. Tom O'Brien, we're going to be talking about, can today still be heard? Yes, if you go, then you'll have access to them until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We're going to be switching over the interviews to the day 2 interviews that I just mentioned. And if you missed day 1, I'm actually gonna do something special for you guys tomorrow. This is a little something. Because we had some issues playing the videos today, we're actually gonna leave those videos up for you tomorrow as well. So for those of you who could not see, for whatever reason the videos weren't loading fast enough, we're gonna leave the presentation page from today live for another 24 hours. So you'll be able to see all of today's presentations again, and you'll get access to tomorrow's day 2 presentations. Yes, Val, Dr. Josh Axe is a smart dude. All these interviews are amazing. It's really tough for me to say this one was the best one. But I'll be very honest with you. My favorite presentation is with, and believe me, all these presentations are amazing. Right? You're going to learn something from every single one of them. I actually really enjoyed my interview with Kristen Scott Dixon from Precision Nutrition. Do you guys know who Precision Nutrition is, or what Precision Nutrition is? It's one of the largest nutrition companies in the world for certifying professionals on nutrition. And Dr. John Berardi and my good friend Phil Caravaggio head up the company, and they've worked with professional athletes, Olympians, Nike, big organizations, hundreds of thousands of regular men and women, tens of thousands of fitness professionals. And Krista heads up all of the coaching for Precision Nutrition. And we had an interview, and this one was actually live in person. So we're sitting down in my old condo, and it's an amazing interview on basically how to, I don't know if you heard that, was like a cat being attacked. Yes, he's got his burst fit, cool. So Kristen Scott Dixon, we're talking about how to create small habits that create lasting change. And what's amazing about this talk is that it kind of brings everything together. Everything you're going to learn in the summit about how to create habits. You're going to learn about gut health and hormonal stuff. But in Chris's interview, we talked specifically about why is it that we don't do what we're supposed to do. We know we should be exercising, we know we should be eating better, but why is it we don't do that? And in Chris's interview, which comes on Tuesday in day 3, you'll see why I liked it the most. That's, again, don't let me bias you, but for me, that was probably my favorite interview out of all of them, and they've all been great. So that's coming on day 3, which is all about habits, how to create lasting habits that create lasting change. But tomorrow is going to be awesome. I found out about you through Josh. Yeah, Josh is great. I mean, I've known Josh for a couple of years. He's done amazing things in the past couple of years. He's helping hundreds of thousands of people. He's got one of the most popular health websites in the world. It's amazing. So I'm really proud of him, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. So I'm really happy to welcome you guys to the community. And do you guys have any questions before we finish off tonight? So again, this is actually being recorded right now. So if you want to watch the replay of this, we'll put it up on YouTube, and I'll have a link for that tomorrow at some point. And if you want to go to my YouTube channel, just type in Yuri Elkaim YouTube and you'll find it. But we'll have this video up on YouTube tomorrow. Even though the quality is a little bit, whatever. It's not high def. We'll just put it that way. So that is all for today. If you guys don't have any questions, again, cool announcement. We're leaving the day 1 presentations up tomorrow as well. And that will help you, for those of you who missed the videos for whatever reason, if they didn't load properly, we want to make sure that you guys all have access to those if you had any issues. So Val's saying, I don't know what to cook for dinner, or I don't know how to cook dinner. Well, again, it's one of those things where planning is really important. Planning and preparation ahead of time, it's massively important. One of the simplest things you can do is something as easy as writing down the recipe, right? So let's say you know what to have, you know how to make the food, but you just don't do it. What we want to do is we want to reduce the number of barriers standing in our way from actually doing something we want to do. So with food, write down what you want to have for dinner tomorrow night. So actually do that right now. So tonight is Sunday night. Write down what you want to have for dinner. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm happy to share my knowledge and the knowledge of some amazing other experts. So I want you guys to do this. Write down what you want to have for dinner tomorrow night. Just write down whatever it is. Let's just call it like salmon and quinoa. That's what I'm going to have for dinner, or salad, or whatever it is. Just write that down. What that does, it just primes your mind already to know what you're going to have for dinner tomorrow night. Automatically what it does is it gives your mind, your brain, focus. And then it's just a matter of, okay, well, what are the ingredients for that meal? So maybe 1 fillet of salmon, maybe half a cup of quinoa, some salad greens and avocado. Just write those down. And if you don't have them, get them at the store tonight, tomorrow. But that's the simple key, is you want to reduce the number of perceived obstacles in the way of making food. So a lot of times we make up these, grandiose images in our head of what's involved in making a meal, and then we actually make it and we're like, wow, that was really easy. Why don't I just do this more often? And I really believe that one of the biggest stumbling blocks for people with respect to food is not planning and preparing ahead of time. So hopefully use this week as an extra reminder to just be like, listen, instead of thinking like the night of, what am I going to have for dinner? Write it down the night. It's the same thing I do in my business. Every single night before I go to bed, I write down the top 3 things I want to accomplish tomorrow. And just doing that alone, it gives me so much focus in the morning. I already have my quarterly plans, my quarterly projects. I break them down into week by week things. And I know what I'm going to do every week. But the thing is, just going to bed, writing on an index card, the 3 things I'm going to do tomorrow, instantly gives me focus upon waking. So I would strongly recommend you do the same thing with anything. And, also with your workouts. Go to the gym, but don't just go to the gym. Go to the gym already with a simple plan. It could be as simple as, okay, squats, 3 sets, 6 reps. Bench press, 3 sets, 6 reps. Just have a plan for your workout, and that's it. Having that focus is it. So do I eat differently from my kids? I would say I probably eat a little bit more food. I would say that we don't make different meals for them. If they don't want to eat, they don't eat. We're not going to bend over backwards and make different foods for them. So tonight we went for Mexican. I had an enchilada. The kids had a taco, which was just like a chicken taco, and with some guacamole on the side. But usually at home, you know, we're making one meal, and if they don't want to eat, I don't really care. Because for instance, I know of the benefits of intermittent fasting, which you guys know I talk quite a bit about. They will survive, and they will do a lot better if they don't have any food overnight or at dinner and wake up the next morning. They'll be totally fine. They haven't evolved to be totally messed up with their blood sugar either yet, so they're totally cool. So yeah, so I don't play that game. I don't eat, I don't eat differently. We train them to eat what we eat, and that's it. So that's the way it goes in our house. So yeah. All right, guys. So with that said, any final questions for this evening? Our Fat Loss Summit Day 1 recap. Again, if you're not part of the summit, if you're not getting access to any of this stuff, you can go to fatlossummit.com. Thank you so much, Val. You are awesome as well. I don't even know how to do those emojis. Like, I don't even know. So I appreciate. I'll just give you a thumbs up. Thank you. Oops, and glucose range question was from Alan's talk. Yeah, so you can refer to Sarah's talk as well. She gives a specific, sort of a really cool thing to do near the end of her talk. I asked her what's the number one thing we can do to prevent the obesity epidemic. She talks about having a glucometer, read your glucose first thing in the morning, about 55 to 70 milligrams per deciliter. Just verify that talk. Don't quote me on that. I believe that's what it was. And if it's not, then it's 75 to 90 milligrams per deciliter, but I, for whatever reason, can't remember. So just verify that with that video. Yeah, so once again, we're going to keep those day 1 videos live tomorrow just because we had some playback issues. Some of you guys had a tough time watching the whole video. It was loading too slowly. So as an act of goodwill, because we love you guys, we're going to keep those videos live tomorrow. But in general, throughout the week, it's going to be a 24-hour free viewing. And if you want to purchase the entire package for instant and lifetime access to all the videos, all the interviews, video, audio, and transcript, along with the cheat sheets, the synopsis for each one, and our 7-day Fat Loss Jumpstart program, plus 10 bonuses, then you can grab those at fatlossummit.com/order. Yes, so the summit, if you want to join, is at fatlossummit.com. So if I could type that into this right now, I would. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow. We've got 4 amazing interviews coming your way. We're talking about gut health and its impact on your ability to lose weight. It's going to be a lot of fun. And now, it's back to the kids. Wind down the evening, and I'll speak with you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.